Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we will be looking at Minecraft Snapshot 1.18 Experimental version 6. Looks like it adds quite a bit of things, including new biomes, new placement of those biomes, and just small changes that just add a bit more to the game. As you can see behind me, we are on one of the new biomes, the snowy slopes, and over here we have the grove biome. So it looks like the grove has trees and the snowy slopes doesn't. And the placement of them is tweak the placement of new mountain biomes so they match the mountain terrain and temperature better. Grove and snowy slopes are less likely to generate on mountain peaks in cold climates. Grove and snowy slopes tend to start much lower down, while in temperate and hot climates they tend to start higher up. So this just sort of matches the temperatures and the climates around these new biomes. So let's say there's a desert. The groves and snowy slopes would start higher up because, the higher you are, the colder it gets and the more likely there is to be snow. And so that would match it pretty well. And if it's in a colder area, so like a taiga or something like that, there would be snowy slopes lower. And I feel like this really matches everything together a little bit more. I mean, we've never had these before, obviously, but I feel like they did a good job with this. Now, entry number 2. Tweaked biome placement to reduce the risk of cold microbiomes, such as a small splotch of snowy tundra in the middle of a forest. Bird poop microbiomes. It can still happen, but not as often. I think I might have seen one in my last snapshot video, but there are some sort of splotches of snow in the middle of forests, and now that has been removed. Number 3, fixed an accidental change from the last snapshot that made lush caves smaller and more fragmented. Now they should be about as common as in snapshot 4 again. Again, I saw this in my last snapshot video. You should really check it out after you watch this video, obviously. But I was not really able to find many caves, many of the new cave variants, and I think that was an accidental change in Snapshot 5, so I'm glad we have those back again. Number 4, giant tree taiga and giant spruce taiga no longer count as cold climates from a biome placement perspective, so these biomes are less likely to mix in with snowy biomes. This causes a small reshuffle of other biomes to maintain the overall balance. So they don't want big trees in the middle of small things, or they want these sort of flatter areas not to be with the peaks, just because it's not needed. They want to fragment the snow and ice around more. I like that. I mean, this is the Caves and Cliffs update, so. Number 5, slightly reduce the number of water springs. So water springs are like this waterfall and stuff like that, small one-block springs in the middle of nowhere that just sort of add a little bit of variation to the water and rivers and everything. I kind of like them. I mean, the lava ones are kind of annoying, but I mean, they're there for a reason to balance everything. Number 6. Slightly increased underwater magma to increase the chance of finding air when diving in aquifers. So, they now have more magma, I guess. When you're exploring these underground aquifers, you're going to need some air, obviously, and it's kind of hard to navigate around them. So, magma blocks are nice to have because they have air, and they even though they do pull you down, they still supply you with air without having to go up, and without having these ugly air bubbles in the middle of nowhere if you had like grass or something down there. So I believe that this would be an underground aquifer, and as we can see here, there are magma blocks to give you some air. It's kind of hard to, go all the way up here and get air whenever you need to, because you want to explore this and find nothing. There are these sort of pockets of air, like, sort of scattered around right here, but that's quite hard to get to, and I'm not sure if you can even get air from that. It might be too small. Next change, cavier ocean floors. Aquifers under oceans/rivers are more likely to link into the underground. This means that you're more likely to find cave openings on ocean floors that actually lead somewhere instead of being cut off. One consequence of this is that caves at Y0 to 40 below oceans are more likely to be flooded. If you dive into an underground lake, you might end up inside one of those flooded caves and pop out at the bottom of the ocean. That doesn't really seem like a consequence to me. As we can see here, caves now sort of lead around the bottom of the ocean. Right here, you can swim into one here, and this one leads nowhere, but it is very close to linking up to this cave. So if you knew there was a cave here, you'd just dig a block and you would be in the air. Next, underwater ravines are back. Cave carvers now can carve through sand and gravel on ocean floors, so underwater ravines and caves will no longer be hidden under a layer of gravel or sand. As opposed to Minecraft 1.17, we no longer use a specific carver for underwater ravines. We use the normal noise caves and carvers, but on ocean floors. So the underwater ravines won't look exactly the same as 1.17. But we get a lot more natural variation. Magma may still generate inside of them, as well as flooded caves. So here we have a ravine, no magma, but as we can see here, it is not hidden under a layer of gravel, as in 1.17. I like this change. I mean, it's easier to find ravines, but, I mean, I'd like a deeper one so that, you can find diamonds easier. Although, I think diamonds will be far less valuable after this version goes live, because it is so easy to just go caving for them, and you'll find so many very, very quickly. Next up, finally, horses, mules, and donkeys now follow players holding golden carrots, golden apples, and enchanted golden apples. This makes it easier to get your horse across that deep river. Similarly, llamas follow hay bales. This is a much-needed change. We finally get to transport transportation animals way easier rather than, like, using a lead or something. And as you can see, they follow golden carrots, enchanted golden apples, and regular golden apples. There you are. And I believe this also works in the water. Yeah, they willingly go into the water and follow you. This is such a much-needed change, and... oh, I'm sorry. Here. There you go. Very good. But we almost forgot the swamps. Swamps can now generate in dry areas. They couldn't last snapshot, which seemed to make sense, but it turned out that sometimes a very small area will be drier than the surrounding area, causing a microbiome issues like small spots of desert in the middle of a swamp. Swamps should be less fragmented now, and they appreciate that. Again, if you watched my last video, we found a swamp that pretty much had two parts. One of them was way away from a river and an ocean, and it really just didn't really seem true to life. And now that is eliminated, and that's a pretty good change. We can finally... swamps are having, more thought to them. So my final thoughts on this snapshot, I really enjoyed all of the new biomes. I didn't showcase all of them. This is, I think, one of the new biomes. It is the snowy beach. I really enjoyed all the pretty much fixes from the last bunch of snapshots. These are less additions and more fixes because, the Mojang team messes up sometimes and they need to fix that. But yeah, thank you for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did not enjoy it, make sure to put a dislike down there. But I hope you enjoyed it, so I think you should leave a like. And while you're down there, subscribe and tap the bell to be notified whenever a new snapshot goes live or whenever I post a new video. You can download the snapshot down in the description. It is a zip file. You have to scroll down a little bit. I'll make a video on how to install it in a little bit. But anyways, thank you for watching, and I will see you later. Bye!